Valve's Steam store hauls in over $16.2 billion a year. It's a platform with an estimated 75% market share of PC digital distribution, and it is one of the most profitable companies per employee on the planet. So, I, like others, was quite excited when I read the news from Valve last week. The new 2026 Steam machine is rumored to be priced at cost, a bill of materials around $425 for a around $450 price point. This entire 2026 hardware family, the Steam machine for the living room, the Steam frame for VR, and the new Steam controller, is a sophisticated entry into the market. The hardware is a delivery system. The real objective, though, is the mass market adoption of SteamOS. This isn't just a plan to sell consoles, it's a plan to break the console duopoly, co-opt Microsoft's entire strategy, and in the end, declare a war of independence from Windows, forever. And that's where the story starts. To understand the approach, you have to understand the business model. For decades, the console market has run on a razor and blades model, initially popularized by the concept of selling Mensa razors at a loss or a break even, and then making your primary margins on the cartridges of the blades. Sony and Microsoft subsidize their razor, the console, selling it at a loss. But they get you into their walled garden, where they make their money on the blades, high-margin games, and mandatory online subscription fees. But that model is breaking. 5 years into this console generation, prices are increasing. Thanks to inflation and market fatigue, a PlayStation 5 now costs $550. The new PS5 Pro launched at a staggering $750. The Xbox Series X can run you at $650. The razor is no longer a subsidy, it's a profit center. This forces Sony and Microsoft to triple dip from their consumers. Profit from hardware, 30% commission on software, and that mandatory monthly subscription fee. Valve's model is the inversion of this. Valve's razor is its hardware, but its blade is the Steam store itself. That $16.2 billion in annual revenue gives Valve the asymmetric freedom to sell hardware at cost. Valve doesn't need to profit from the Steam machine, it just needs the Steam machine to get you to buy more games from its store. This is a price war that Sony and Microsoft are structurally incapable of winning. They're bringing a hardware business to a software fight, and they may lose. This 2026 initiative is not a gamble. It's an accumulation of a 10-year R&D process that Valve disguised as a string of public failures. You might remember the 2015 Steam machines. They were a commercial and critical disaster. A confusing, decentralized mess of third-party, overpriced rebuilds. But the real fatal flaw was the classic chicken and egg problem. It was hardware with no software. The 2015 era SteamOS was based on Linux, and it relied on developers to manually port their Windows games. Of course, almost no one did. The cost of that is immense, and the returns are just not justified. So, Valve spent the next decade and hundreds of millions of dollars solving that egg problem. The solution is called Proton. Proton is a compatibility layer. It's a Rosetta Stone, so to speak, that allows games designed only for Windows to run on Linux, seamlessly with no input from the developer. This one piece of technology single-handedly solved the 2015 failure. SteamOS instantly gained access to the entire 86,000 game library on Steam. If Proton solved the software problem, the Steam Deck, of course, solved their hardware problem. In 2022, Valve launched the Steam Deck as a focused, first-party, Apple-like device. It was a massive success. At 5.6 million users in the beta test, it proved definitively that Proton worked, that SteamOS was desirable, and that a mass market existed for Valve's open console vision. The 2026 hardware family is not a new idea. It's just Valve taking the exact, proven formula and applying it with overwhelming force to the living room and to VR. Valve's timing could not be more impeccable. Its strategy is kind of parasitic. It's designed to use its competitors' own strategies against them. Consider this: Sony. Sony's strategy is a stubborn, full-throated commitment to its walled garden. Its value is hardware differentiation and exclusives, which it now conveniently releases on PC after just 1 year. This directly feeds Valve's value proposition. The Steam machine, estimated at $450 to maybe $600 price point, is looking to dethrone the PlayStation's value play of a $550 base PS5 and the $750 PS5 Pro. The pitch to the consumer is devastatingly simple. Why buy a $550 PlayStation to only play PlayStation games and pay a mandatory online fee, when you can buy a $550 Steam machine, play the entire 86,000 game PC library, pay no online fee, and still get all of Sony's exclusive games in the year? The Steam machine becomes the patient gamer's PlayStation. Sony's own strategy is selling Steam machines. So, if I were to sum up how I think it competes, the reality here, the Steam machine is almost becoming the patient gamer's PlayStation. Now, what's even more exciting is the move against Microsoft. Microsoft, for its part, has recognized the walled garden is failing. It has pivoted to a service-first, hardware-agnostic strategy. Its goal is ecosystem over hardware, putting Game Pass on every screen and even putting its own first-party titles on PlayStation 5. Valve's strategy doesn't fight this vision, it co-opts it, and renders Microsoft's hardware completely redundant. Microsoft's pivot has devalued the Xbox. If all its games are on PC and PlayStation, analysts are already asking, well, why buy an Xbox in 2025? The irony is that Microsoft's long-term vision was a PC console hybrid that was simple to use but open. Valve just built that, and it runs on Linux. The Steam machine becomes the universal console. It plays the massive Steam library, all of Sony's PC ported exclusives, and, yes, Microsoft's Game Pass via the cloud. Valve has created a single, open platform box that makes the Xbox machine a machine without unique purpose. That brings us to the true target. This strategy was never about Sony or Microsoft. It's about survival. Valve's multi-billion-dollar PC gaming empire is built entirely on its chief competitor's operating system, Windows. This is, by far, their largest existential platform risk. And Microsoft is actively exploiting this vulnerability. It's pushing its own PC Game Pass and integrating Xbox services deeper into Windows to compete directly with Steam on its home turf. SteamOS is Valve's declaration of independence. The Steam Deck was the first shot. Its success has already driven Linux gaming market share to new heights, reaching 2.69% by mid-2025, with SteamOS itself being the most popular distribution. The 2026 Steam machine is the main offensive. Every Steam machine sold is another high-value PC gamer actively decoupled from the Windows ecosystem. Every Steam Frame VR headset sold is another beachhead for a Linux-based immersive platform. And of course, the new hardware is impressive. A Gen 4 CPU, an RDNA 3 GPU, thumbsticks that are even immune to stick drift. But it's all a diversion. The hardware is the vector, the Trojan horse. It's a sophisticated, subsidized delivery system for the only thing that matters, the platform. Valve is using its war chest, created from its unassailable software monopoly, to fund a full-scale assault on the closed console model. But the true endgame is to liberate its own multi-billion-dollar empire from the operating system onto which it was born. Valve isn't just building a console, it's building an open source Ark. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks.